Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM19 story, part of The Furniture with me, Daniel. It's Season 2, Episode 9, and for the third time in a row we're playing a National League playoff game, but this time it's a big final at Wembley. That's right, we're playing Forest Green, the team that looked certain to win the title for about 40 games this season, before dramatically collapsing over a 4-game period to hand Maidstone the title. And now it's 3rd v 4 for a place in the Football League, Forest Green looking to bounce back at the first attempt, and ourselves at Torquay United looking to make it back-to-back promotions against all the odds. Only one thing's happened since you were last with me. Unfortunately, Michael Kennedy picked up a knock and we're giving him a pain-killing injection so he can go on the bench today. It's the first time I've ever used it on FM19, but this is such an important game that I need to have all of my strike force available. But let's get into it. There's no point holding things up. We're eager to see how we'll get on. I'm not entirely confident, and Forest Green again are slight favourites. They beat us in the league away from home just a month or so ago, and after a 2-week gap from competitive action for us, Forest Green have gone and won at Wembley already. They've won the FA Trophy against our bogey side Bromley, so they're going into this one high in confidence. And we're going to have to start like an absolute house on fire to get something out of this one. Let's look at the team we've gone for today. No surprises at all, bar possibly up front. We've got the same back 9 that we normally have. Jones in goal with Hume and White the fullbacks. Byrne and Sokolic at centre-half. Berkovic and Edwards-John are the wingers, with Payne and Mumba in central midfield. And we've gone for the goal-scoring hero Andrew Nelson up front, with the man who can't score to save his life at the moment, in Matt Foy. Scrimshaw and the heavily injected Kennedy are on the bench, alongside Molyneux, Walker and O'Sullivan. We're gambling with no keeper and no centre-half, so I hope neither of those get injured. But let's get into the game, and fingers crossed we can pull off the third miraculous performance in 3 days. Forest Green playing their 4-2-3-1. This is the game that's going to have the biggest impact on this save going forward. We thought we had that with Huddersfield earlier this year, but there's no chance that it's going to top this one. We'll tell them to pick up where they left off, because they left off with a 93rd minute winner. They've got an injury, but it's just the one player, and other than that they're fully fit. They're asking me about Firmino, who wouldn't have started anyway, so I'm just going to ignore the question basically. We're into the playoff final. There's 37,000 expected at Wembley today, and there's more of them in the Torquay end than our end, we can tell that already. It's a long throw on the left for Forest Green to Perrott. Needham on the edge of the box to Winchester. He's unmarked. He's going to have a shot. Surely he does. But it's high and wide and we survive. And look how many fans we've got behind the goal there. They haven't got that in the Forest Green end, I bet. As we've mentioned, this episode could be the biggest in the save. If we manage to get to the Football League with back-to-back promotions, which looks unlikely as they hit the post, but Jones gets it at the second attempt, it could make such a difference to be able to have our own youth recruitment and our own youth intakes. So when we get to the top of English football, which will be a lot longer, we will have to take a few years in the lower leagues, we'll have our own players and we'll be so proud to have players that were produced at this club. Mumba's got the ball to Payne as we come forward for the first time. Forest Green have had 9 attempts, we haven't had one yet, but Edwards-John gets it into Berkovic, flicked on, and it's away to the edge to Payne. Payne comes into the box to Edwards-John on the right, deflects back to Payne again, he finds Edwards-John, delivers Nelson down to Mumba, and it's a great save, and our first effort of the match was nearly a goal. White with an out-swinging corner which is overhit, but Byrne will get there. Byrne gets the ball back to Berkovic on the edge, Berkovic into Mumba who shoots but it's blocked. Second time it's blocked again, Edwards-John on the byline delivers, but his cross is blocked too, and it's behind for a corner. The one other thing we would mention is Sunderland, our parent club, are releasing a lot of their stars, including Nelson and Hume, as Byrne gives away a free kick from the corner. The only one they haven't is Mumba, and if we don't go up, there's absolutely no chance we'll be able to keep him next year. So promotion would ensure that we'd be able to stay under our wage budget again, as we'd be able to bring in some loan signings like Mumba, and just gradually build the club up. We should be able to stay up if we went up, and the same goes for Forest Green. Both clubs would be able to stay in the league. Mumba's got a free kick from 30 yards, but it's just about which one of us can get there to do it. Financially for us it would be huge. It would certainly slow the save down as we would start to have a few consolidating years in the Football League, but the stuff we'd be able to do off the pitch, in terms of youth development, the stadium and training facilities, would be absolutely massive for the long-term career here. Jones makes a comfortable save, and with 10 minutes to half-time it's 0-0, but there is no denying that Forest Green have had the better of this game. We haven't seen too many of their attacking highlights, and they haven't had too many brilliant chances, but they've absolutely dominated, and 11 shots to 4 is something that's not to be sniffed at. Winchester puts the ball wide with another effort on goal, and we survive yet again with just 5 minutes till the break. It's Forest Green with another free kick 30 yards out. Perrott's going for wild efforts all game, and that could be the thing that saves us because he keeps giving us goal kicks, and we've just got to make something of one of them now. It's half-time, a 0-0 draw, the best we could have asked for, to be honest. Like the Wrexham game, we've been outplayed, but we're still in it, and that's the most important thing. We're going to tell them to go out and prove a point because it's worked so well in the playoffs so far, and we've got the kick-off, and Foy's not going to last long again, as he hasn't looked like scoring for the umpteenth time in succession. Mumba with the ball up towards Foy, but he loses out, and the ball's back with Shepherd, who goes over. Thomas is in one-on-one from that. Great block by Sokolik, but they've got 2-on-1 in the box. It's in towards him again. Sokolik clears again. Diamond Maloney from Sunderland. Great challenge by White and clears long. It looked like a bit of a lunge, but he got there. 5 minutes into the second half, we've got a long throw with Payne. Up towards the keeper, it's straight at him. That's appalling. We really need to make the most of these, and we're not doing so at the moment. And I'm starting to get a little bit frustrated by them. White loses out in the right back area, but it falls to Sokolik. Sokolik with a long ball over the top, which Nelson will press, but he's not going to get there, is he? It'll just be cleared long, but he's forced it in towards Berkovic. Berkovic 30 yards out with time, chips it into the back post. Nelson loses out, and Edwards-John gets the ball on the right-hand side. All the way back to White into Payne. Payne back to White again. He's got Edwards-John down the line. Doesn't take on the fullback and plays it back to Mumba. Edwards-John into Nelson. Has the shot. We're 1-0 up in a playoff final. Come on, lads. This is going to be the year. For a man who doesn't like big games, Nelson has sure turned up in the two big ones. And with 50 minutes on the clock, we've taken an undeserved lead. Thomas with the long ball from Forest Green. Falls to Perrott 40 yards out. Neidham in behind, but White intercepts. Edwards-John over the top, and Foy can chase this. Could this be the chance to get his goal? He's in one-on-one, and it's a great save by the keeper, Thomas, and behind for a corner. We're going to make a couple of tactical tweaks here. We're going to change Foy to be a pressing forward as well. We want two of them working the fullbacks like we did against Wrexham. I'm probably getting louder as this episode goes on, but I am very excited by the way this final's going. We're just going to check our routine for throw-ins because there's no one challenging the keeper and it doesn't seem to be working out. We have got someone marking the keeper and we've got someone attacking the near post. I don't think there's anything else I can do there. There isn't. So we're just going to confirm those changes and get back into it. But in about 10 minutes time, I'm sure we'll be making a change with Foy. Byrne knocks it down for Mumba. He's free. He scored. Barley Mumba. The two Sunderland lads have turned up for the big game. And Barley Mumba, the ever dependable man. And hopefully if we go up, we'll be able to keep him next season. Because if we keep him in League 2, then sky's the limit. Because he is streets above anyone in this league. What a player. What a fantastic performance in this second half so far. And we lead Forest Green 2-0 in the playoff final. Long ball into the box from Forest Green's headed away. Berkovic flicks it onto Neidham, but they've got the ball 30 yards out and there's still a threat here. Diamond, the Sunderland man, with a shot which is wide. And if he's on a contract next year, we'll try and sign him because he's won player of the month so many times I can't remember. Edwards-John on the right flicks the ball on. No one's getting on the end of that. McGinley goes back to the keeper. Long clearance by Forest Green, which is flicked onto Thomas, the centre forward. They've got plenty of time in the attacking third here as we sit off them a bit. Brown to Thomas, 25 yards out. Goes for the shot, takes a couple of deflections. The last one's off a Forest Green man and it's a goal kick. We're going to take Foy off. He's not had the best game again. Scrimshaw will come on. We'll save Kennedy for now. He can be a pressing forward as well on attack. I don't know which one's got the best left foot, to be honest. Nelson's just right-footed. Scrimshaw's right only. So we'll switch them over just because Nelson on the left is the way they finished against Wrexham when Nelson scored that brilliant winner. With 20 minutes to go, we're 2-0 up still, against all the odds and the way the game's gone. Burns flicked the ball in. Nelson tries to get a touch on it, but it's fallen to the arms of Thomas, and they still survive at 2. That would have wrapped the game up, and we're going to make our other subs in a moment. Thomas with the long goal kick. Diamond loses out to White in the air. Edwards-John to Scrimshaw. Scrimshaw gets the ball wide to Edwards-John again. He's got the overlap, but it's fallen straight to McGinley. And Pring can clear the ball for them. But he seems to be going backwards for some reason. He's gone for a long switch clearance all the way to Hume, the left back, and we'll have those all day. Berkovic tried to get it in behind it. Falls off the right back to Nelson. Deflects to Payne on the edge. Payne with a shot. Great save by Thomas. And that'll be his last contribution as we take Payne off. Brad Walker on. Mumba switches into that deep lying role. You know the way we make our subs by now. We've got so many good options off the bench that we can do these things. And we've got another corner with 15 minutes to go. Pring with a throw in from the left to Perrott. Back to Neidham. Neidham in midfield. They've got a bit too much time here. Thomas 6 yards out. Great challenge by Sokolik. And Scrimshaw's got 2-on-2 up front there. Flicks it in behind for Nelson. He's in 1-on-1. Can he wrap it up? He can't. He's put it over. That was an absolute sitter. He's missed the easiest chance of the match, and with 5 minutes to go, we're making our usual changes now to the instructions. We're going to go in transition, slow the pace down. In possession, we're going to time waste, and we're going to play for set pieces. It's been a masterclass performance in defence, and we're going to make that last sub going into stoppage time to waste a few seconds. There we go then, into 3 minutes of injury time. We're going to take Berkovitz off on the left wing and just bring on the defensive-minded O'Sullivan. He's going to sit in front of Hume for the last minute and a half. We've got a long throw, what a way to end the game. Mumba's got the long throw, he's headed away to Walker. Walker on the edge of the box as the fans are already partying behind the goal. Mumba finds Walker again. What a second half performance. He's into Scrimshaw. Can we put a cherry on the cake? We can't, it's away to Sokolik. But we've won the game 2-0. What a way to finish that game. The first half we were outplayed. The second half we were sensational. The pink and grey suit makes its re-emergence as we lift the trophy at Wembley. A wonderful performance, and I cannot believe we've got to the Football League in successive seasons. I didn't expect to beat Billericay the first year, and I didn't expect to beat Forest Green this season. We've come as the slight underdogs both years, but Barley Mumba's been in the side, and that means we never have a problem. A 2-0 win, and we are going to give these lads all the praise we can. Passionately happy with the way they've played. And remarkably, after just 2 seasons, we are straight into the Football League. And although the promotions will very much slow down now, the fact that we're there means we've got a chance to try and get Mumba on loan again. And some of these other players will definitely join us. We can start to work on the club off the pitch, get a youth recruitment in place so we can start to produce our own players and have our own products that we can be proud of when we eventually get to the Premier League in a decade or so's time. That's the plan anyway. We'll go and do a quick season review, but it won't be the most coherent because I am all over the place after that win. Totally unexpected. I really thought we were going to fall at this hurdle. I had a bit of hope against Wrexham, but this one I thought we were going to get outplayed. We did for 50 minutes, but then those 2 Sunderland youth players with 2 goals in 2 minutes win us the game at Wembley. And after a dodgy start to his career here, Nelson has become a hero, and with him being set for release by Sunderland, we'll be certain to try and sign him. Let's look at what they've said about the game and all the different changes off the pitch as a result of promotion. A fantastic 2-0 win, a rearguard action that was memorable. I tell you what, we defended brilliantly in that game. The 2 centre-halves were unbelievable and Mumba and Nelson turned up again. Torquay promoted, we've got an initial budget, 50 grand on the transfer budget and 25 on the wages. Once we've had the wage rises as a promotion bonus for some of the contracts already at the club, we won't have much to play with in terms of wage budget. And we'll try not to use it as we rely on loan players and youngsters like Reece Williams that we got last year. If we can get a few more of them out of professional clubs, which I've seen 5 or 6 pop up on the scout reports already, we could be in for a really good season next year. But all we want to do is finish 22nd and I don't care about the rest. We've led them to promotion, plenty of praise coming my way, which is brilliant. Davidson, the Forest Green manager's not happy, even though I praised him before the match. We'll deal with the press conference in a moment. An unexpected promotion. They only wanted us to finish in the top half. And even the media thought we were going to be 4th and fail. We were 4th, but we succeeded after that. Kennedy's out for a couple of days with his pulled groin. We haven't aggravated his injury because he hasn't been on the pitch. Mumba, the star man, again in the playoff final. We'll go and praise him in a second too. Wickham boss Mark Cooper's at Wembley. They're in League 2 and he's watching Sokolik. There's no chance he's going now because they're going to be a competitor next year. And our board have no excuse to sell anyone now that we've been promoted to the Football League. A couple more news items. The squad payout. They deserve every penny of it for those performances. Let's go and quickly look at the squad review then for the end of the season. Any unavailable players can come back in at this point. We'll just do it in terms of appearance order. Denver Hume made the most starts for the club, 49 in all competitions. Did very well on loan from Sunderland. We've got a few more that played in more games like Foy, but a few of those were off the bench. But all the names you'd expect to see are up there. If we go to goals, we've got a few stars here. Foy got 23 despite not being able to hit a barn door for the last couple of months of the season. Scrimshaw reached 20 as well, which is remarkable considering a lot of his appearances were off the bench. Mumba with 15 from midfield. An absolutely brilliant season and by far the star man. And if we're in League 2 next year and can get him on loan again, I'd be so happy. And with Sunderland getting promotion to the Championship, that might become a reality because he would have been good enough for them in League 1. But in a Championship, I'm not quite sure if they'll risk him. So fingers crossed for that one. Kennedy got to 14 as well, despite having a couple of injuries in the season, and scored at just under 1 in 2, which is brilliant as well. Walker deserves a mention. A lot of games off the bench from midfield and he contributed 8 goals as well. If we go to the assists, no one in double figures, but Ballin and Edwards-John from the right wing with 8 apiece. Denver Hume from left back with 7. Byrne with a lot of knockdowns from corners getting 7 too. And Payne with another 7 from set pieces, particularly his long throw. Plenty of players on 6 or 5, including Mumba and Berkovitz, who really came into his own in the second half of this season. And finally, the average rating. You know who's going to be top of the tree. Barley Mumba, closely followed by the right back Darren White. It helps that White takes the corners, so he gets a lot of assists from that. Sendles White didn't play many, but when he did come in, he was brilliant, and we hope we'll be able to keep him next year as our fourth choice. Ryan Dixon only played a few games, and it is going to be the end of the road for him. Not fit enough to play in the Football League, but we'll try and keep him on as a coach or scout if he's interested in something like that. No one was a really poor performer this year. The only one that struggled a bit was Bathroom at right back, but he's not going to be here next season, and he's had a long injury too. But a remarkable season, ending in an unexpected promotion. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please put a thumbs up on the video. Let me know in the comments who you think is a must sign for the Football League next year, out of the loan signings we already have at the club. And are there any players you don't think are going to make the grade? I've got a few in mind, but I'd be interested to know your thoughts. Subscribe to the channel for daily content from my 2 Football Manager stories, this one part of the furniture with Torquay United, as well as our other story, The Head Coach. We're into season 3 now and finally look to be settling down a bit after 2 seasons of turbulence and absolutely awful performances. If you haven't caught up with that series yet, now's the perfect time. But a massive thanks for watching this one as always, and we'll see you in the next episode of Part of the Furniture for our first game in the Football League.